YouTube? I hope everybody's doing absolutely fantastic. It is actually Wednesday morning. This video is going to be for later today, guys. Even though I'm on vacation, kind of run a little bit behind. Mainly because I'm lazy. But, that being said, I normally do my cleaning my cleaning days on Sundays, all right? Your spot cleaning, your water swaps, your misting, so forth and so on, and then I pair later on. Kind of reversed. We actually fed on like Friday, then we paired on like Monday. Talk about those locks in 1 second. But today I'm in here now. It's kind of an absolute disaster. Hanging out with the pups, doing our thing. Little snow in the New York area. Nothing crazy. Maybe 1 or 2 inches, if that. That being said, I'll tell you, this room is absolutely fantastic because it didn't drop below 79.5 degrees or humidity. So I'm very confident in this room. The only thing we need is a nice generator, okay? So we did do our first show. Because of that, like I said, our schedule's a little messed up. I'm going to do a video kind of recap on Saturday about our show and whether or not I'll be doing more shows in the future. With that being said, let's talk about some of these locks. Then I want to talk about a question that I actually got a few times in the show I found kind of interesting. I made a video similar to this a couple years ago, but I figured I'd kind of talk about it a little more and how I'm utilizing this strategy this season. And that's pretty much why you have to have some big normal girls in your collection. We'll talk about what I'm doing with my 2 big normal girls this season and why it's so imperative to have a couple of them. Even though everyone wants the high-end animals and everyone wants those crazy genetics, right? Those recessives, it's really important to have some of these big normal girls in your collection. So that being said, guys, I just did get done taking some animals out, but I'll go through it real quick. Don't mind the tubs, they're a mess. All right, our clown pied boy had another successful lock on our yellow belly fire leopard double het clown pied. We did put our ODYB fire leopard pied boy het clown in with our GHI Mojave double het. I didn't see a visual lock, but again, as we talked about, he's kind of a quick little spray and pray type of guy. This is the ending of an ovulation right here, guys. The ending or the beginning. I'll keep track of that. That's our pastel clown pied, bred to that ODYB fire leopard pied. As you guys remember, last week we got a final lock in. She was about 30 millimeter follicles. He locked with her a couple days after that, so I anticipate a solid clutch out of there. Let's keep this thing moving. Our first ever pied girl right there, locked with our pastel etchy banana pied boy. Okay, pretty happy about that. Our Aussie pied boy, our pastel ODYB fire leopard pied, got another lock in with this girl right here from Porter Pythons. A nice special pied. What else did we get? I don't remember. Oh yes, our GG boy got a lock in with the killer entry blade clown. Our pastel redhead head clown locked with our fire blade clown. And then our confusion boy got another lock in with our Gotham girl. All right, so solid week over here, not too shabby. Our stranger boys deep in shed. Our 2 clutches are due within a week. What's today? Today's the 15th. So 5 days from now, we got our first clutch from him. About 10 days after that, our second clutch. And then our pastel spot nose clown girl is sitting at 33 millimeter follicles. So I anticipate her to continue to grow. He's in shed. Hope he gets more food in him after shed. He's weighing about 590 grams. So I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, guys. So let's get into this. Now, listen. First and foremost, like I said before, we all love this hobby. We all love our ball pythons. But one of the main things we have to realize is, despite all these crazy genetics, these crazy combinations, and the way these things look, we should always pay homage to where it all started. And it all started with animals like this. This is a big mama Donna, all right? Ain't that my mom. She don't like it, but hey, it be like that sometimes. This is a big old normal girl. Not het for nothing, not het, not nothing, not anything. Just a super normal, super jungle, super wild, classic, whatever you want to call her. She's just a big bitch, okay? Now, next door to her, I'll keep her out. She's very nice, although she did bite me one time. I'll keep her out. Next door, we got this girl right here who's bull wrapping nicely. Another big old normal girl we picked up from South, from Gomez Pythons. But let's just utilize, actually I have 3. I also have this girl here, if you guys remember. This is that normal girl that was found in Brooklyn that's kind of just hanging out here. I'm not sure what I'm doing with her. Anyway, let's talk about why I love these big normal girls, especially the ones that kick out 10 to 12 eggs. Now, if you guys remember, hopefully she stays. All right, fuck it, we'll leave her. If you guys remember, I had this girl right here, very much in the beginning of my collection, same as Big Mama. Now, we weren't entirely sure what was in her, right? We kind of figured it out now, but for the most part, we're a little confused. Now we know her to be a pastel Mojave, OD, fire, edgy, okay? Really, got it out. Really cool looking animal. Now, what we originally did is we bred her to this male right here, okay? This is our Coral Glow Black Pastel Trick Mojave male. Now, not the smartest thing to do, especially when he's got 4 genes in him, and she was kind of a mystery to us. Now we know she has 4 or 5 genes in herself. Stupid thing to do. Why? The clutch is going to be a convoluted fucking mess. So what happens when you have a convoluted mess? You produce something like this. This is the son that we kept back from that clutch. Now, when we originally hatched him out, we had a pretty good handle on what he was. Now we believe him to be a pastel, black pastel Mojave, edgy, possible trick, either fire or OD inside of there. So how the fuck are we going to figure this out? And the long story short is, we're going to breed him to 2 normal girls, which we've been doing. He's had quite a few locks with Big Mama here, and quite a few locks over here. Now, there's a few reasons for this. Now, oh no, Big Mama. There's a few reasons why we did this. I mean, one, it's always nice to produce some, basic animals. I like producing almost anything I get my hands on. But also, these normal girls act as a giant paintbrush, guys. I mean, a giant paintbrush. Look at them. Yeah, that's my bitch. Look at them all over. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Live action. They act like a giant blank canvas, okay? What I mean is this. If you visualize this male right here, which we kind of have an idea of what's in him. Look, he's trying. You're a savage, bro. That's all we produce over here, guys. We produce animals that eat well and animals that fuck well. It just is what it is. Look at him. I got this shit. All right, where are you guys going? I'm gonna pull you guys back over here. Big Mama's running away. He's into it. It's like Paul hitting on girls in the bar here. Come on. All right, so visualize this. We got tubs open, live action here. Visualize this. All right, not in front of your mom, bud. Visualize this. She's a blank canvas. All right, if you're a painter, this female right here, normal, is a blank canvas. White is white. Okay. This guy right here is 5-color paintbrush. And what you're doing essentially is taking that 5-color paintbrush and you're throwing it on a blank canvas. Now, every time you have a stroke with that 5-color paintbrush, you don't know what paint colors are actually going to come out. So the more times you utilize one of these girls, aka every hatchery that you have, is a different blank canvas. Because Big Mama is not pushing forward any genetics, the only genetics that are going to be prevalent or visual when it comes to these babies between Big Mama, let me get rid of this girl to confuse you guys, for Big Mama and that girl, Big Mama and that boy, is whatever genetics are actually inside of this male. So what that means is, that's how we can figure out what's exactly in this male. Because every single baby that happens between these two will essentially be genetics that are found in this male. Yes, there will be different combinations, aka if he's Coral Glow and Black Pastel, you might get a Coral Glow, you might get a Black Pastel, you might get 3 genes, 4 genes out of him. But it makes it easier to decipher exactly what's going on. Does that make sense, guys? Essentially, you have to look at it like Big Mama is a blank canvas, he's a paintbrush with 5 different colors in them, and the babies are the paintings that happens when you combine them two. And by looking at those paintings, you can decipher what's exactly in him. AKA, you have to break down the hatchlings. Like, okay, this one's OD, this one's fire, this one's OD fire, this one's Coral Glow, Black Pastel, OD. And then essentially you can figure out exactly what's in him. Now, just by looking at him, he's cool looking. As a hatchling, he was much cooler looking. But now that he's gotten older, you can kind of see the purpling, right? You tell he's Coral Glow, you see he's got OD or fire, something going on there, interacting with the Black Pastel and the pastel and everything else. But without breeding him to Big Mama, we could probably never figure out exactly what's in him. Now, we could take him and breed him to an animal that's losing his shit. Another animal that has a couple codons in him. But again, that's not going to really help our case, right? Because we're just kicking the can down the road trying to figure out exactly what's inside of him. So that's why, in my opinion, guys, every collection should have a bunch of big girls in it, especially big normal girls, that kick out a bunch of eggs, just in case you want to prove out what's in some of these animals. Now, did I explain that well, guys? The whole blank canvas, painting, right? Because he's essentially providing all the color for the canvases and the paintings, which will be the hatchlings, okay? And then by looking at the hatchlings, aka all the paintings that this animal creates, utilizing the female, a normal, as a blank canvas, because she's not contributing any color to the actual paintings, aka the hatchlings. So when you look at those colors, or the paintings that are the hatchlings, you can tell what's exactly in him by breaking it down. All right. The other reason is this, guys, and this is going to be a frugal reason, but still a reason nonetheless. You know, I never shy away from talking about finances or making a couple extra bucks on ball pythons, so forth and so on. Check this out. Let's say you got a big old normal girl like Big Mama. Let's say you invest big time. Let's say when Stranger first came out, Wookiee first came out, Redhead first came out, right? Or, oh, here we go. Dude, Big Mama will fuck you up, dude. Bang, dang. Oh, yeah. All right, get out of there. All right. So let's say you invest heavily in some crazy clown, crazy pie. Let's get some clowns, though, right? Let's say you decide, you know what? I'm getting involved with the... Fuck it, let's say I'm getting involved with the Monsoon Project, okay? And now I know I got a normal girl that kicks out 14 eggs at a pop. All right, nothing crazy. Now, obviously, this is just more pertaining to normal girls that kick out a lot of eggs, right? You can always take that Monsoon and put it to the other girl I showed you, the Pastel Mojave and she OD Fire, which would probably be the best bet. But let's say she only gets 5 eggs. But you know that, you know what, this male's young. I want to create some nice hets, or at least get on the board making hets. You know, at the time, these hets are still worth $2,000-$3,000 a piece, whatever the case may be. I know my normal girl will produce 13 to 14 eggs, while these Codom girls might only give me 4 to 5 eggs. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put that high-end animal that I kind of want to get a bunch of hets with or reproduce with, whatever the case may be. I'm going to put it to Big Mama because I know, one, it's really easy to come across some of these big female, especially these big normals that produce a lot of eggs. And two, I know I'm going to get a shit ton of eggs out of them, right? So then I put it to one of them. Boom. Next thing you know, it kicks out a bunch of 14 eggs, a bunch of hets, right? Then you'll load it up on Monsoon hets, whatever the case may be. But also the other thing is this. When you're trying to prove out different genetics, right? For me, for example, when I was trying to play around with the keyhole, what I do, I had just a normal female or a normal keyhole male, and I put it to another animal, and then I could try to decipher what keyhole looks like without clown, right? The other thing you can do, too, is sometimes people have these recessives. They try to prove out some of these, what do they call them? Drawing a huge blank now. Huge blank. You can tell something's a het. Like, you know, like pie tracks, so forth and so on. Try these het markers, if you will. You can really do that with normals, because normals aren't kicking out any disruptions to the pattern or the color. And then, again, we can utilize them as a blank canvas to try to prove out a bunch of different things. What genes are in a certain snake. I don't think you should have normal males, because it's kind of a waste of time. But when it comes to normal females, again, you can prove out what genetics are in a certain male. You can make a bunch of hets, especially if they kick out a bunch of genes. You can also try to work with new genes and try to figure out exactly what they do. Because again, the normal girl is not kicking out any changes in the hatchlings, right? She's just your blank canvas to produce ball pythons, and then that male will be your paintbrush. Again, question I got asked quite a few times at the show, if I have any normals, if I recommend having normals, and the answer is universally yes. I keep those 2 girls right there. I'll probably keep them forever. That being said, I do have a couple other girls that are pretty big, got a lot of eggs, like Pastel Mystic. But I do recommend having those normals in your collection, especially if you intend on trying to prove a few things out, and especially if you intend on working with some genetics that aren't worked with often, because that will definitely help you by utilizing them as a blank canvas. All right, guys? Yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for Saturday's video. We're going to give a full breakdown on our first show and whether or not we will continue doing shows. So, as always, guys, be safe. Watch your 6.